And right here again?
We are at Thakoon, and today the hair is fluffy hair, like beautiful hair, in the back. In the front, we are applying a special product which is a gel to make the hair look wet. We have a kind of a side on the part. The texture in the back is very dry because we're using dry shampoo. In the front, it's wet, and we finish with this one, which is perfect touch. It's a lady, we went to the gym and she sweat. So it's related to the clothes, and the relation with the clothes is sports.
I kept thinking of Patagonia. Like I wanted to do something that was a bit more into the wild, but at the same time, almost like all-terrain. So I kept thinking of the idea of technical clothing, like hiking clothes or mountain climbing clothes. And so there were these beautiful wool fleece textures that I really loved. Also beautiful suede and shearling, but then mixing it in a way that's really more Thakoon. We combined fleece with bonded crepe, and then combining nylon parka, puffer jacket, but then embroidering on that like a chine floral effect. So really the balance between technical and a bit more fantastical, I would say. Clothes are classics for a reason. How do we twist on that and innovate that and move that forward a little bit? That was really the interesting thing for me. How do we make a really great blazer exciting for women and a bit more feminine, actually? We lined it with a printed striped silk, and then also like a shirting fabric that's a men's shirting, but then printing this beautiful chine floral effect on top of it and giving it a tie neck, you know, just like putting attitude in classic pieces.
Thakoon is always one of my highlights of the season. I love his clothes. I always end up making notes of what I want to buy every season directly from the runway. He has a really interesting background because he used to work at a fashion magazine many years ago. So I think he looks at fashion from this very organic 360-degree perspective. So he knows what looks good on the runway, but he also knows what real women want to wear. And it's great because his clothes are very ladylike, they're feminine, but at the same time they have an edge of cool.
I have to say, I was just so delighted. The joy of the wonderful floral prints, the interesting mix of the tweeds and the fabric colorizations that he brought together. I mean, certainly on trend with all the outerwear with kind of quilting and puffers, but I loved the idea that the clothes had a little bit more of a shape to them. There was control, and then there was a little bit of volume. You know, we're seeing a lot of volume on volume.
I feel lucky to consider myself both. I'm a fan and I'm a friend also. For me, the architecture, like the shapes that he creates, work so well for my body. The way he was playing with texture and the fluidity of movement still grounded down, it's so exciting and fun to wear. And the color was beautiful.
The palette came out of this sculpture that I'd seen by Cy Twombly. So there was like a lush sort of intense textures and color, and then I wanted to ground that with something that was a bit more muted. So we had like a heather gray, we had really soft, almost like a blush kind of color on a felted wool, we had charcoal. Really, it's about taking the colors to the street. I think it's an experience, you know, and I think that that's what fashion shows are about. That's why I love fashion so much. When you watch a show, you are inspired, you're transformed, and at the very least, you're dreaming of something, and it's a fantasy. It's about good clothes, but it's also about the idea behind the clothes and how do we progress it in a way that's, you know, that's dreamy and fantastical.